Every single Jehovah's Witness, to some degree, is thinking this. They have doubts and concerns, but they don't feel free to express them. So the next time you're at work, school, maybe you have a family member who's a witness, just keep in mind, a lot's going on upstairs, okay, but they can't say this stuff out loud. So here are 5 secret thoughts I can guarantee you every Jehovah's Witness has. Right off the bat, unless you converted as an adult, all right, you have no Jehovah's Witness relative background, no ties to the witnesses, unless you converted as an adult, no one actually chooses to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses, right? Most Jehovah's Witnesses are born into it, and they don't have a choice to go to other churches, explore other belief systems, all right? Even the most enthusiastic witness that you know, who speaks with the utmost conviction, has been indoctrinated from birth. You have to understand that. It's not like they studied other things independent from their parents' influence, were free to roam, and then they came back. We're like, oh, well, based on all my unbiased research, I've reached the conclusion that this is correct. This is the one true religion. That's not how this works. They are systematically brainwashed through mandatory meeting attendance at least 3 times a week. You're required to knock on doors, stay immersed in preaching, and if you have any doubts or questions, you're told to research with their publications because you're told that any secular research is just polluted by satanic thinking. So basically, you're just stuck in this witness pipeline this whole time. Even the most exemplary witness hasn't had the opportunity to hold their beliefs up to any real scrutiny. Because think about it, I could actually respect that. Like if you're an adult right now, you got nobody chirping in your ear, you weren't raised in this, and you make the decision, I can respect it, even if I totally disagree with you. You know, you decide this is what I want to do, and I've made this choice. Cool, do you. But if given the chance, total immunity, I guarantee you at least 90% would say they don't actually believe in it. Or at the very least, certain aspects of it are just too far-fetched. They can't get behind it. They don't fully buy in. Maybe there's core beliefs that they stick to. Like maybe they really do believe in Jehovah. Maybe they really do believe that there's something bigger. But the rest, again, total immunity. If they knew they weren't going to get in trouble for saying this, they secretly believe a lot of it's ridiculous. So next logical question, why do they stay then if they don't actually believe it? Because they will lose their family. You can't speak your mind in the Jehovah's Witnesses. It's like living in North Korea. You can't speak out against the regime, because if you do, you will be shunned and lose your family. Every Jehovah's Witness who goes door knocking is praying on the other side of the door, like, God, I hope they don't come to the door. Please don't come to the door. Please don't come to the door. But I cannot overstate this. They have no choice. Okay? You can't be a born-in Jehovah's Witness, which 99.9999999% of them are, and just not go out door knocking. It's not an option. Yeah, you can play hooky. You can skip days here and there. Hell, you can stop altogether. But then the leaders are going to come looking for you. That's a little something we call fading. That's a whole other situation. Fading means that you're trying to escape from the Jehovah's Witnesses. And again, one of the biggest or most common questions that I'm asked is, how do I wake up a witness? This ties into the whole door knocking thing. I've said this a million times before and I'll say it again. Be nice. I know some dude in the comments is going to be like, fuck that. I just tell them I'm a Satanist. Just come to the door naked. Yeah. All right. Let's say you're watching this and you actually want to make a difference. I'm telling you right now, being nice to a Jehovah's Witness when they come to your door, that's going to make more of an impact because they're primed for persecution. That's what people don't understand. All right, so either answer their prayers and don't come to the door, or, just say hi to them, politely decline, send them on their way. Now, if you've managed to get close to a Jehovah's Witness, I'm going to talk more about this later. If you've managed to develop some sort of rapport, or dare I say a friendship, I can tell you right now, they are so jealous of you. And don't be a moron, okay? I have cancer, my spouse beats me. Assuming you don't have horrific circumstances and you have a generally, quote, normal life, they're very jealous of you. Through their eyes, you need to understand, if you're the worldly person in this scenario, they want to say to you, you have no idea how good you have it. You don't know what you have. Meaning freedom. They're jealous that they can't be free like you. It's one thing to have to go to work, school, have these everyday stressors, but just imagine having to add on top of that, knocking on doors, going to meetings, having this high-pressure schedule in addition to your real-world schedule. We felt as Jehovah's Witnesses that worldly people took a lot of these freedoms for granted. And again, that's not to say that you don't have problems. Just imagine compounding existing problems or everyday stressors with being trapped in this weird Jehovah's Witness bubble where you can't just leave without severe consequences or personal loss. Okay, these circumstances just adds a whole other layer of stress to their life. Speaking of which, all right, so what I'm about to say, I don't want it to be misconstrued like, oh, all Jehovah's Witnesses are just fake and they're lying to your face. A lot of Jehovah's Witnesses, they're good people, they mean well, they're sincere, but they're exhausted from having to be on. Like, just for a second, put yourself in their shoes. They're told their whole lives that they are the example to follow. They are God's chosen people. That's a lot of pressure, okay? So God is watching them. Don't fuck up. They can't say the wrong thing. They can't do the wrong thing. They can't just be human and slip up and fumble. It's not even just big things, like they made some major mistake. They just can't show their human side. They can't, we talk about like, oh, just let your hair down and relax. They can't let their hair down. They can't laugh at that raunchy joke. You can't just be real. They can't admit that they're lonely and depressed. They can't admit that they're struggling with depression because they're told that they're the happiest people on earth. In fact, their slogan is, "We have the best life ever." I'm not making this up. Again, like, it's constantly drilled into their brains that it's a joy to serve Jehovah. So you can't be like, I'm freaking exhausted. I'm tired of keeping up this facade, this schedule. But, I'm the one who claims to have the truth. I'm the one that claims to have all the answers. So I have to be the strong one. I have to be the strong one for my worldly family members. Or, if an outsider expresses interest, I have to be ready to go. I have to be ready to flip that switch. So if you don't glean anything else from this video, I just want you to walk away knowing Jehovah's Witnesses are human just like you. They got laundry and bills and dinner to cook. And yeah, there's always going to be that percentage that's genuinely arrogant, that's genuinely super narcissistic. Most Jehovah's Witnesses are just normal, everyday people who are exhausted having to keep up the face because it's what they feel like they have to do. Which leads me to my final point. I have heard this specific observation so many times from people over the years. They'll say, like, I had a coworker who was a witness, or a friend at school who was a witness, and they were really nice. And I loved them. They were great. But it felt like our interactions were very surface level. We didn't really get deep with anything. They all expressed that the Jehovah's Witness they knew was not, quote, nice, but kind of cagey. This is huge. Jehovah's Witnesses are so lonely. I guarantee you, take it from me, the witness wants to be close to you, wants to be friends with you more than anything. They can't. They just don't have anything in common with you. Like, you're, griping about the trials and tribulations of your on-again, off-again boyfriend. You have a live-in boyfriend, and they're like 35 years old, and they've never even held a guy's hand. B, the indoctrination is strong. They've been taught from birth that you're the other. You're worldly. They really have to be on guard. And C, kind of all of the above, they are so tightly wound. They know that if they give themselves even a little bit of leeway, let themselves go just a little bit, they're going to snap. I mean, if you're this person who's like, I want to be close to this witness, but why do they have to... Let's be honest. If they snap, are you going to be there for them? When they lose their family, get disfellowshipped, kicked out. Everything is turned upside down now. Are you going to be there to rub their back, pay for their therapy, let them crash on your couch? Are you going to be there to pick up the phone at 1 a.m. when they're having paranoid night sweats and PTSD? And here's the sad part. You might think like, well, why don't they just make friends or connect with their own people? Surely they have lots of Jehovah's Witness friends. Nope. We're all stuck in the same mission, in the same church. I have always compared it to toddlers being plopped in a sandbox. Oh, we're just friends now, want to play? We're just all spiritual family. And you can't stand that bitch. They're lonely. They're bored out of their goddamn minds. But until they can extricate themselves from that situation, you just unfortunately got to lower your expectations. So yeah, just know that your efforts are definitely appreciated, but they are barely getting by. So anyways, yeah, I hope this brought some clarification, what they deal with, what they're up against. That's not to say oh, boo-hoo, the witnesses. Everybody's got problems. But if you have a witness in your life, in your orbit, at least you have an idea of what they're going through mentally and emotionally. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button for future content, and I will see you in the next video.